What's going on, gamers? So here we have some crazy news. You would think that Ubisoft would have learned their lesson on something, right? Definitely if you're trying to delay the game, spend an extra 20 million on it. And then we find out recently half of the Assassin's Creed Shadows devs have never built a game before. I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, that's real. But this is the newest thing that popped up this morning. Like I'm the subscribe guys, you know I'll be doing this for years. Ain't going nowhere. Do all types of content. Help this channel out. Support an intelligent person. Because you know I'm awesome. Assassin's Creed Shadow to future Denuvo and mandatory Ubisoft account linking. You would think that after the Helldivers situation and what Sony's been doing, that they wouldn't do that, right? I don't know what to tell you about this company. Like, what is wrong with them, y'all? Talk about nuking your game even more. Is this like a common trend here in the DEI woke up world, right? Look at what the idiot Hansen was doing the past few days with a Valve, nuking his own game. I'm starting to think that there's something here that's more manipulative than that, guys. I know it is, that this is still done on purpose, and that you still think that the Communist Party is behind them to try to tank these companies and to try to get in there and buy out and get their IPs a bit. That it's kind of being done on purpose, and they're just being paid off, and they're not really losing the money you think they're losing. Um, and this is all done on purpose. And at the end of the day, they're still super rich, and the funding that came from the far left is the funding that they're using, and there's nothing really wrong with the company's budget, and it's all manipulation, stock manipulation, and all of that, and being in bed with China and everything else. I can't deny this because like at this point, it just can't be on an accident. It's just no way. You you look at all of them; they all do the same patterns over and over again, every single one of them, and they're all in bed with each other. It's all interlinked. And the developers and real great developers and people who've really loved the gaming industry are suffering from this DEI mafia invasion, big time. But going down as Ubisoft prepares for the 2025 launch. Oh, by the way, just to let you know, Denuvo, it's going to be monitoring your RAM. It eats up the RAM and it eats up resources. It does not help. And a lot of people hate it. So, as Ubisoft prepares for 2025 launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game some view as the developer's last chance to break free from a year marked by financial setbacks, controversies. Not going to happen. They're also launching it in the Black History Month, which is also victimization and also garbage. What do I mean by that? Where's anybody else's History Month? Doesn't exist. It's the far left again, once again. And a lot of people now are waking up to this and realizing, yes, stop trying to victimize me. I don't have any problem with people in front of me. This is all bullcrap. You're just trying to like get me into like these negative emotions every year, and you're just trying to brainwash me and keep me stuck in the past and have problems that really don't exist in my life. And why are you only targeting me and nobody else? It's almost like you're telling me that I'm handicapped and that I need to be enabled this way. Like think about it, you know what I mean? Because that's what that is. It's a manipulation and victimization. Okay, so after all that, the game's Steam page has finally gone live, revealing two major caveats about the Steam version of Assassin's Creed Shadows that will, unfortunately for Ubisoft, likely drive away some gamers. Oh, they already did a good job at that. Now they're just putting some icing on the cake. If you're in any way familiar with the PC gaming industry, as we know, then you most likely already guessed one of the caveats, and yes, the PC version of AC Shadows will feature Denuvo, a controversial DRM software detested by the community for negatively affecting loading times and frame rate in games and its spies. Something Denuvo creator categorically denies. It's full of crap. You don't have to get in. It's like when you just see so much evidence consistently, and you even see developers abandon it, and then you're still doing it. It's like you're just being an idiot to me. Blaming its low reputation on pirates and gamers. Okay, there's another way they can deal with that. That's just bullshit. While Denuvo's presence in Shadows isn't much of a surprise, considering it's been used in Ubisoft's previous games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Star Wars Outlaws, the Far Cry series, and others, the decision to keep the DRM could be seen as questionable given the growing trend of developers ditching Denuvo or choosing not to include it in the first place, as well as Ubisoft's apparent need to steer clear of future controversies or further controversies and reputational damage. Nah, like I said, they're the villain of the year. The second caveat relates to another requirement the community generally dislikes: the mandatory account linking to the studio's Ubisoft Connect platform. When buying Assassin's Creed Shadows on Steam, even if though, much like Denuvo, this isn't anything new for Ubisoft fans, it could still negatively impact the game. Yeah, they're gonna double down on negatively impacting it and do all that time trying to fix it, right? And then add this in. Unbelievable. And like reputationally, considering what happened with Helldivers 2, that's right, earlier this year, when Sony's now retracted mandate to link Steam accounts to PSN, remember that wasn't there before, caused an uproar, buried the game in negative reviews, and some believe tanked the game's player numbers. It did. So remember how much damage is already done to this game. What Thomas Lockley did, if you don't know, look into him. All the disrespect to Japan, big time. All the disrespect to the entire fan base, and now you're going to add in Denuvo, DRM, and account link, and forced account linking on top of that. Oh boy, yeah, it's no hope. With many blaming this backlash as the sole reason we've heard so little about Helldivers 2 in the second half of 2024, despite it being universally acclaimed and considered a strong contender for Game of the Year when it first launched. To top it off, Shadow's EULA also includes a provision that allows the game to monitor your PC's RAM to ensure you're not running any unauthorized programs like macros, cheats, or hacks. It's a single-player game. A well-intentioned clause that nonetheless feels a touch out of place in a single-player game and could potentially scare off some of the most suspicious players who are uncomfortable with their hardware being monitored. Yeah, nobody likes creeps. You know what I mean? Just being a weirdo. So we see incorporate third-party DRM, Denuvo anti-tamper, 5 a day machine activation limit, requires third-party account linking, and requires agreement to it. Going over here, we see somebody that didn't like this, permabanned. Give me Banhammer. So he says, so Ubisoft is going to make PC players who pay for Assassin's Creed Shadows to not only force to have the Denuvo mandatory Uplay login, they also want to monitor your PC's RAM usage to stop cheating. Remember, this is a single-player game. That's what I said. Really, Ubisoft? You've already put off so many gamers and the entire country by forcing a Western foreigner's glorified fanfic as historical fact of a country not their own. They're talking about what they did to Japan. And not giving a Japanese male the privilege to represent his history. Like this guy did something for Japan. He did nothing for Japan. Who is he to represent history? And he's actually a George Floyd manifestation, by the way, which is completely disrespectful and is irrelevant to Japan and to Japanese culture. They edited their Wikipedia too. It just did so much. You know, it's like it's completely disrespectful. And they want to use another culture's. Let me just tell you this, guys. What does George Floyd have to do with Africa? This was in the 15th, 16th century, right? There's no such thing as Black Americans. They don't exist. It's like when I gave him a stolen product, playing hip hop music, and murdering, to that when they first introduced that. It's almost like, you're also disrespecting the African culture too, because Africa don't have anything to do with hip hop, don't have anything to do with the political nonsense over here in the 15th, 16th century. It doesn't exist. So this is all being done to victimize, puppet master, manipulate, and cause problems between different cultures. Why they stand back and just take me, uh, uh, give me your money, accept what I say, accept my propaganda I'm shoving down your throat, accept all of this, and just pay me and support it, and don't say anything negative. And if we could censure you, we would, but they can't. The political ties have been shifting. And it's like, you want to get into gaming and not get into politics, right? But guess what? It's annoying. And look at what it does. It forces you in a certain way to where you have to battle against it and know how it works. Otherwise, it'll just ruin everything. So, getting back to historical depictions, wrong from architecture, music to family members, plagiarizing smaller Japanese creators and artists, passing their work off as your own, the Sekigahara stuff, they did. Using a World War II A-bomb memorial symbolism as a marketing tool, having him on the front with DOA and not even a Japanese male, and just weird stuff where you're just like, this is not an accident. You're just going way too far. Now you really have the gall to impose these intrusive nonsense on these And the remainder of players who still graciously stuck to you even after all this. You want them to suffer through your game being laced with Denuvo and invade their privacy. This gives you a very realistic point of view on what the developers really have to deal with. People who want to do this type of behavior. Oh yeah, it's evil. You're dealing with an upside down and backward spectrum. This is the upside down. This is the Baphomet. You want them to suffer through your game being laced with Denuvo, invade their privacy. Talk about hubris. Personally, I was skipping this game already. Didn't have to make it easier for me to skip it. You know, Ubi? hmm But yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. Remember, also, half of the Assassin's Creed Shadows devs have never built a game before. And they think it's garbage, by the way.
Is that we have a lot of juniors in our teams, and I don't know if this is something that's your case as well, but the seniority has lowered globally, and probably half the team that's building an Assassin's Creed is building a game for the first time, so they don't know. So you have to explain to them that even though they're playing the game right now and they think it's the worst thing they've ever seen, it's going to be good. Okay, we're going to get there. And
Later, y'all.